At 28 years of age, Esther finally decided to get married, having been a virgin and as well preserving herself for the better. It dawned to her after numerous attempts of trying to conceive, yet it all failed. She realized later she did have a problem. Well, this was one painful yet traumatizing journey she had to trod through. Well, join me as I visit her at her home in a bid to know her story. Full of life, one can hardly tell that she is 42 years. Esther Nyambura is a testimony of a woman rising from the rubbles of stigma that comes with being infertile. After several attempts in marriage, the secondary school teacher could not conceive, and life in a society where children play a great role in how one is addressed as a woman or a man became too much to bear. The living room of a gated apartment in Ruiru is scattered with baby toys and evidence of children in the house. Her story of being a mother is one of note.
The first month went, second month, 6 months, a year, and I was stressed and wondering what is not happening. Pressure from all sides, what is not happening? Why are you not giving us a child?
In search of a baby, she has had so many uncomfortable procedures and a number of surgeries, one that saw a chunk of fibroids being removed from her womb, having the hope that all was well, but it turned void.
I was operated and the fibroids were huge. And the doctor told me, now go and try your luck after the operation.
Emotionally and financially drained, struggling all by herself, one of her random visits to the hospital, the worst of news got to her after the doctor noted that she couldn't conceive.
The 8th year, I went back to Kenyatta again, and then I was tested. I was one problem of fibroids. Now we are talking about the tubes. The tubes are blocked.
This was followed with so much cruelty, from being left with your husband to being neglected by your own relatives and family. She was subjected to all manner of frustrations for reasons beyond her control. She at one point traveled to Tanzania and Zanzibar in search of herbalists to save her worries and shame, though it bore no fruits.
I went to Zanzibar, I went to Tanzania, I went to Mwanza, the other side, looking for herbs, medical herbs, the herbs, to see whether if I take them, something will come.
Pressure from her mother as well made her to opt to buying a baby at 20,000 shillings in Kawangware, a black market for such business.
I can only say that God intervened and started communicating to me. You are crying because of a child. You want another mother to cry.
Thus they say it's never too late. Esther finally, after 13 years of pure struggles and painful moments, it is at the Kenyatta hospital where she met a nurse who changed her life after being introduced to the IVF procedure. This procedure involves the ovarian stimulation, egg retrieval and embryo transfer. Today she smiles as she eventually had her twins.
I was told to come for 21 days, every day, because I'm supposed to be given an injection on the womb so that my womb is prepared. And definitely you go during your second day of your period, because that is the time they start checking the way your body is behaving, the way your womb is behaving, the way your hormones are behaving.
The IVF is a very expensive procedure practiced by a very few women who can't afford, adding that it is not covered by any medical insurance. For Esther, it saw her take a bank loan of about 600,000 Kenya shillings. It is through this that pushed her to start an organization for women like her, known as the Blessed Wombs, to fight for medical cover for women who are childless to get the IVF services.
I felt the pain in me, and I knew how I was neglected by the society. I was neglected by the churches. They want you to pay so that you can go to see the pastor for prayers. So I would feel those ladies that I left behind, they're in pain. And I decided, let me start an organization to encourage them and to give them hope.
Esther further notes that it is high time it is understood that infertility is not the woman's fault. Society should learn to accept and accommodate these women. They should also be loved and supported and as much treated like any other woman. According to her, they're not infertile, not even barren, but waiting wombs, waiting on God. For every 10 women, 4 of them cannot conceive. But with the stories of the likes of Esther, of the IVF procedure, has seen a majority of them smile at the end of the day. Well, join me next week on Thursday as we take a look on how the IVF procedure works and its amazing services. Milliah, Kisienya, Ruiru, Kiambu County.